Well, welcome back to another episode of In Good Company, where we believe that the best parts in business happen in good company. And today's guest is someone who I had a chance to meet, probably 3 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
And she is one of those people that it's not just her reputation that precedes her, but it's the actual meaning and purpose behind the things that she does. It goes well beyond just her. She's given other people that are going through difficult seasons and difficult circumstances in their life, she's actually given them an opportunity to not just thrive with their families, but personally and in their community. And I couldn't be more excited to welcome our next guest to the podcast, Sarah Milko.
Hi, thank you. Thanks
Yes.
so much for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Sarah is... I'm going to stop because I could sit here and just rattle about all the things that I greatly appreciate about you. But why don't you tell us a little bit about, for those that don't know your story, just give us a little bit of rundown. Where did you grow up? What is a little bit about Sarah?
Sure. So I am a lifelong Rochester resident. Grew up in Brockport, West Side.
Right.
West Side. I'm a West Side girl. And my husband still makes fun of me for that. I don't get it. I don't understand. But
Where did he grow up?
He grew up in Rush. So somehow he thinks that's, high and mighty. I'm like, no.
Brockport's so much cooler.
Yes, Brockport is so much cooler. Yes. So, met my husband after college, went to college in Buffalo, came back home temporarily and bumped into my husband at happy hour, and here I am almost 30 years later. So
I love it. Happy hour.
Yeah.
If you're listening and you're single, who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Keep going to happy hour. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Not too much, but
a little bit.
when you can.
Once a month, maybe. Once a week.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about, you created AutismUp, which if you're listening and you're in the Rochester area, you cannot live in Rochester and not have at least heard about AutismUp. Talk a little bit about,
yeah.
For sure, yeah. And talk a little bit about where did this idea come from?
Sure.
All the way from kind of conception all the way to where you guys are today.
Absolutely. So I thankfully have not been in this alone. I have an unbelievable team of moms that I've worked with for 21 years, right? We can finish each other's sentences. We know what's coming next. We know what needs to be done, and we just do it. We all came together, and they were really my saving grace so many years ago. My own son, my middle son, 3 adult children. My middle son, Ted, was diagnosed with autism in 2002, shortly after his 2nd birthday. And that first year after his diagnosis, my husband and I were just on the floor. Like, wait, what? How could this happen? What happened? What did we do wrong?
Yeah.
How are we going to fix it? Right? We remained really isolated. We had therapists coming in and out of our house, 40 hours a week, working with him. And although he was making progress, it was a really dark time for us because nothing was going as planned, right? Fast forward, I was fortunate to connect with these moms that I'm still with today. And that was the first time I was like, okay, wow. Yeah, we can do something about this. And first time I was able to connect and realize we weren't alone on this journey. And that was life-changing, life-changing. We started meeting and just talking about, different therapists we were using, the best interventions. The unique thing about this group is we've never been a group that, woe is me. Wow. Yeah, this is hard. This sucks, but how are we going to fix it? Right? And that's always been our attitude. And, we just started pulling other parents in. Now, this is before we were all using email and the internet. I know it makes me sound super old, but, I was passing notes through therapists that were coming into our house.
Wow.
I was asking them a lot of questions about whether it was diet or different interventions. And they're like, we're working with another mom. We can't share names, but if you want to write that down, I'll carry that note to the next house I go to. And that's really how it started. We started meeting up, talking. and quickly starting to fill gaps that we were seeing that our kids weren't, their needs weren't being fulfilled.
It's amazing.
It just spiraled from there.
Was there like this turning point moment where you realized, wait a minute, like there might be something bigger at play? And again, maybe you didn't see the galas and the big events and the facility that you have today. Maybe that's well beyond what you ever expected. But was there this moment where you were like, wait a minute, we can help so many families?
Yeah.
Describe that little pivot moment.
I think it was really born out of anger, quite frankly, and frustration that my son wasn't able to participate in typical rec programs, or, like my first real memory of me being really mad was his older brother was in a preschool program, and it was a great preschool program, and I signed Ted to signed him up to go to the same preschool program, and they came back to me and they said, yeah, no, we don't do that. We can't accommodate him. And I was like, wait,
wow.
What? And that really made me angry, right? I was like, why, just because of his diagnosis or the fact that he needs additional supports, can he not do and participate in the same environment as typical, neurotypical children? And that's really, that was a turning point for me. And once we found the right placement for him and he was in that integrated setting, I realized, well, this was much better anyways. But that was really a major turning point for us. Yeah.
I think for those listening, there's this common kind of misconception around calling and purpose, and it's usually presented on the positive side, which is, what is that thing that God put me on this planet to do that I'm good at, that I'm passionate about? And yet you said something very interesting about that pivot point.
Yeah.
The thing that frustrated you.
Yeah.
The thing that kept you up at night.
Right.
The thing that, and that's not necessarily a positive, but yet you took that passion, which passion can be positive. I'm pumped up, I'm excited, or negative. I'm pissed off, and I want to see a change here.
This.
Talk about, again, once you decided, like, okay, not on my watch.
Right.
There's, we're inviting other families in here. Talk about some of those early steps that you guys took to start to, raise funds and build programs and start to hire staffing and all those kind of things. Talk about that adventure.
It's been a long road, but it's gone so quickly. One of the first things we wanted to do as moms was to make sure that we were connecting other families immediately with each other, right? We found that the best support network we had was each other. Nobody knows better what you're going through than another parent who's on the same pathway, right? And in retrospect, that first year to two after our son was diagnosed, and my husband and I weren't leaving the house, we weren't telling anybody. It was, we felt like it was taboo, right?
Wow.
I realized, wow, I never want another family to feel that isolation. And if I had met these moms sooner, how much healthier would that have been for the whole situation, So one of the first things we did was to start to institute a network of navigation for other families, right? I always tell this story. One of my first memories was walking out of what's now the Golisano Children's Hospital, holding my son Ted's hand, 2-year-old. We had just gotten the diagnosis. It completely rocked my world. My husband was traveling on business, and we knew he was going to be evaluated, but it was a punch in the gut, And they literally handed a piece of paper with the diagnosis and how to call Monroe County to start early intervention services. And that was it.
Good luck.
Yeah. Go get them. We'll see you back here in a year, And I wanted to change that. I wanted to make sure that as soon as a family is starting to recognize these symptoms, they can come to parents. They have a network. They can step into this and get whatever needs they may have from other families who have lived it. So that was really the beginning, And then it just kept going, when many of our kids who really, people don't realize that autism really is a motor planning disorder at its core, right? And motor planning is when you know in your brain what you want to do, but you can't get your body in the right position to do it.
Got it.
So many of our kids riding a bike is a huge challenge, right? To learn to ride a two-wheeler, but it's a rite of passage for a 6, 7, 8-year-old, right? And my son, like other kids, when they turned 8, he was struggling with this, and I was like, oh my God, he's never going to ride a bike, right? Yep. Some of the other moms had found a program called I Can Bike, and it's a national program, and they bring adaptive bikes into your town.
Oh, wow.
And for a week we run this bike camp, right? So when we first started to raise money, and we're like, okay, we're gonna run this bike camp. And I remember looking at my husband saying, okay, I'm going to sign Ted up for this. Ted, you're just going to take one for the team here. I'm not sure this is in the cards, but, right?
Yeah.
We need people to participate. And it was an amazing experience, not just for Teddy, because within 3 days he was up on a 2-wheel bike, but it was a huge experience for me.
Oh.
I learned, right? I learned at that point, you know what? This kid can do anything he wants to with the right supports and the right opportunity. And I realized even at that point, I had some doubts. I didn't think he could do that. But when the right situation was presented, he took off on that two-wheeler, and I was like, whoa, this is bigger for me than it is for him. Yeah. And for the other moms who were part of that program, I mean, we've been unstoppable ever since. And that's always our mentality, you know.
Yeah. I'm a little bit biased because I've attended now a couple of galas, and I've seen the inner workings, the behind the scenes. But the other thing that you've created is an opportunity for people to be a part of the change that they want to see in the world. Yeah. Whether they are involved with a family member with autism or not. Mm-hmm. There's people that are on your team and on your staff that are such incredible people. And one of my favorite experiences for those that don't get a chance to tour your facility, every single time, Sarah, without fail, and I've said this to you, we will walk into every single room and you will stop before you talk about how beautiful the facility is or something. You will say, hey, let me introduce you to Carlos. He's been here for 3 years, and here's his story. Yep. And Carlos is just standing there so proud.
You a high five.
So proud. Yeah. And every single time without fail, you always introduce the people before the place. Yeah. Just talk about why does that come out of you? Why does that bellow up in you?
Because they're our purpose. I mean, this is why we as AutismUp with our partner providers built the Golisano Autism Center. I mean, that's a dream come true. If somebody had said to me 21 years ago, okay, stick with this, because fast forward to what year did we open that? 2019. I would have been like, okay, all right, sure. But it's especially the young adults who that is their safe place. That's the place where they can come every day and be who they are without judgment. That's where families can come in and know that nobody's going to look at them differently or judge their child because, maybe they're acting differently or having a hard time. I mean, we say all the time, this is a no judgment zone. It's our incubator. It's where families come together and individuals and participants have the opportunity to practice skills that they're going to take out into the community. It works.
And I would say, I'm not looking to brand your stuff. I would say, having just walked through that place multiple times and interacted with some of the programs, it's not a place to hide.
No.
It's a place to grow.
Yeah, I love that.
And that's beautiful.
Yeah,
because
that's great. Yeah.
You can.
Yeah,
you heard it here. Yeah. I came up with that.
Yeah.
Thomas Media Group marketing agency.
I'm going to tell Lisa, our marketer, listen, this is our new buzz.
Yeah. No, but it's just beautiful because, and I've shared this with you and with some of our listeners, but my brother was born with a physical disability called Apert syndrome. My whole childhood was going to New York City and him having 20 surgeries by the time he was 18 years old. I'm growing up in the waiting room playing Sonic the Hedgehog. We come back. He's got a bed at home that's in the living room. I'm jealous because he gets to eat dinner with a TV dinner tray. So I'm 3 years younger. I sit up with him, and my whole experience was I never saw my brother as different. That was my
Yeah.
life.
Right.
I didn't know any different.
Right.
He's Chris. I call him Bub. That's
Yeah.
just Bub.
Right.
He is
Yeah.
who he is.
Yeah.
And yet, as you brought up, in such especially with social media and everything else, we live in a time where judgment has never been higher.
Right.
Because it's visible, and you can, comment things, and people are liking the comments, and it just
Yeah.
becomes this thing.
Right,
And
right.
my mom shared this story about my brother was his freshman through junior year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
She would substitute teach at the school, and he would always be sitting alone at the lunch table, always, without fail.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was a freshman
Mm-hmm.
and he was a senior, we were attending the same school, and she popped her head into the lunch table, and I'll get emotional talking about it.
Yeah.
And he was sitting with me and my buddies at the lunch table.
Yeah.
Because that's my brother.
Like, of
That's
course.
Bub.
Yeah, of course.
There's no thought around it, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
what I love about what you guys have done, and maybe talk a little bit about your programs, you don't just help the moms and the kids in that early stage of diagnosis,
Right.
but you actually have early
Yeah.
20-year-olds, right? Like
Oh,
people
yeah.
that are just
Yeah.
involved in your programs. Why is that so important to you to not just have what I would call kind of school age type of programs?
Right.
Why is it important for you to be along the journey for life?
Well, that continuum of services is it's essential, right? I mean, so many of our kids, we focus so much on them through the high school years, but for those with autism doesn't go away when the bus stop's coming, right? I mean, autism really becomes more complicated because you have to think about housing, you have to think about support in the community that the school districts are no longer providing, where are they going to work? How are we as parents going to grow old knowing that our adult children with autism are living a fulfilling life, right? I mean, that's the challenge. So it's really 21 to 85 in terms of age, right? It's
Wow.
not 2 to 18,
Right.
right? Those are the easy years. So what we're doing at AutismUp is creating that continuum of services, really looking at it through the eyes of now the participants, the adult participants, which is a really cool shift.
It's amazing.
It's not up to the parents, right? Where I can't make decisions for my 25-year-old all the time, right? Who has autism, obviously. But how do we empower these young adults to realize they can make their own choices and then give them the supports they need to be successful with them? And that's at the crux of all of our programming, right? Job readiness. We have an awesome class called My Place where we're teaching young adults, okay, this is how you live independently, right? When your mom starts doing your laundry, this is how you do it. And it sounds so basic, but a lot of our kids really need those skills. They need to understand safety, right? How do I call 911? What do I do if I see something that is wrong or scary? How do I, do I just look back at my phone and pretend like I don't see it happening? No. So it's teaching all of those skills, financial literacy, that's another big one for us. And young adults, I mean, not having their own bank account or debit card. I mean, I was guilty of that. My son, up until 2 years ago, Jean Resigliano, who runs our Full Life Academy now, she said, Sarah, how is Ted paying for this stuff? I was like, okay, I'll make sure I give him money. She was like, no, he needs his own debit card. I was like, oh my God, Jean, you're right. I mean, just basic stuff like that. But now Ted knows how to use his own debit card.
Wow.
Right? I mean, it's just those little steps that are so important.
And the freedom and the humanity that Ted feels when he can reach in that wallet.
Correct.
Pull out that card.
Yep. Well, just like his siblings, he's got the sticky thing on the back of his phone. He keeps his card right in there, right? And he whips it out and he gets that look on his face. He's like, yeah, man, I can get whatever I want with this. Well, within reason.
Leave me alone, Mom.
Right. Yeah. So it's really
incredible.
teaching those skills of independence.
It's incredible.
And that's empowering for everybody,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Of course.
Huge.
Yeah. I mean, my son's not going to have a cell phone or a credit card for a very long time. He's 5. But
yeah,
yes,
right. But down the
get it.
road,
Of course.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It's a rite of
incredible.
passage, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And again, I'm sure if you're listening, this is just one of those stories of someone who saw, felt, experienced something, a pain point, a struggle, and you've put together a business that, again, from the outside looking in, you have this beautiful facility, you have all these galas, all these events. But one of my favorite segments of our podcast is called Fails of the Week.
Oh, yeah.
It's very easy for us to see all of this and go, oh my gosh, easy for her to say all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, look what she's got, look what she's doing. Doesn't have to be from this week, but can you think back to either the early stages or maybe last minute planning things with the gala or whatever? What is kind of one of those funny fail stories that wasn't funny at the time, but you think would be worth sharing?
Well, there are so many of them. I mean, part of my philosophy and why I think my team and I work so well together is we always say, if you can't laugh, you're going to cry, right? And you just have to keep laughing. And, it's that positive, that positive intention you hold every day. You can control how you feel about things when they go wrong, right? You have that power to control it. And, most recently, so as you saw at the gala, we unveiled our ice cream truck.
Amazing.
Right? So for your listeners, this ice cream truck, we came up with this idea a year ago. We wanted to provide a safe workplace for our young adults to start to gain the work skills they need out in the community, right? So we raised our money, we got this ice cream truck, and now we have interns that are working on it out in the community every week. It has been going great. We launched it shortly after our gala in April, and they have been busy all summer, and the feedback has been amazing. So as summer's wrapping up, right, within a 10-week or a 10-day period, we have it out in front of the center one day, right? We're serving kids in the last week of our summer programming. An RTS bus comes through, misses the turn and rips off the awning, right?
No.
So we're like, well, okay, nobody's hurt, right? But 4 days later, we take the ice cream truck to a birthday party. We have it parked out in the backyard. Everybody knows how dry it was this summer, right? All of a sudden, the clouds open up, rain comes down. We are in the middle of a major rainstorm, right? The truck literally starts to sink in the mud in the backyard, and it was stuck there for maybe 5 or 6 days. We couldn't get it out. So our young team, though, they're really upset about this. Like, we can't get the truck out. It's stuck. I'm like, you guys, right? Look, I mean, I have pictures of the back wheel sunk in this backyard. And the rest of us, we're just laughing. We're like, look at this. The awning got ripped off this week. The truck sunk in the mud. But if that isn't a metaphor for everything we do, right? We're laughing about it. The tow truck came. We eventually got it towed out. The truck's fine. We got the awning replaced. It's back on the road this week, right? But it's like, we can do this, you guys. Hard things happen. It's how you pivot and how you react to those hard things that are like the essential turning points, I think.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
That ice cream truck, by the way, if there's a business owner listening or people in the Rochester area, is that something that if anyone's got like a kid's birthday party or if there's anything, I mean, how do you book? Obviously it's no longer in the backyard in the mud. It's now workable.
Now
it's usable.
It's workable. It's out in our parking lot. We really focused this summer on doing a kind of a soft launch.
Okay.
We didn't want to overwhelm our participants. It's a big deal, right? But, people can reach out to us at AutismUp and book the truck for 2 hours, 3 hours. I mean, we have all sorts of menu items. And we've really been focusing on, corporate sponsors who have been so wonderful to us and taking the truck there on site. Our students did the Fairport Music Fest a couple of weeks ago, and that was huge. That was a great experience.
Huge. I was there.
Yeah, it was really cool. And it's been really, heartwarming when people come up to the truck and they think they're just getting an ice cream cone. And as they're standing there waiting, they're reading our material and they're like, oh, wow, so cool. And the people we got to meet, I mean, I have the fun job, right? I just get to stand next to it and meet people and tell our story. And people are just loving it. They're like, wow, this is awesome. What can we do to support it? So it's been really a positive, very positive experience.
Wow. I'm just kind of sensing as you're telling the story, like, and talking about the fails and all the stuff, like, I just kind of have this feeling that maybe there is a young mom that's listening that still just feels like, hey, like, that's great. like, this is awesome what you're doing, but man, am I overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Maybe she's driving in her car right now and she can,
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
If you had one thing to say to that mom, if you were sitting with her, talking with her, and you can look at that camera and you can speak
Yeah.
to her directly,
Yeah.
but what would you say to someone who does feel like they're in this place of just incredible overwhelm, and they feel like
Yeah.
they're alone, they feel like, they can't get through it?
Right.
Maybe a better way to state the question, what do you wish someone would have said to you right when you got your diagnosis, right when your son, the 2 years old, and you
Yeah.
were walking out, your husband was traveling?
Yeah. I wish somebody would have connected me with another mom who was a couple of years ahead of me. If that had happened within the first couple of weeks of that diagnosis, it would have been a game changer. I think that's really the most important thing you can do, is to connect with another parent who has walked that path. There's nothing more impactful.
Yeah.
And that's where AutismUp got its start, and that's
Yeah.
still what we're doing today. I mean, we have family navigators who are moms, who one of them is located at the Golisano Children's Hospital, up at their developmental center, where families, as soon as a child is receiving a diagnosis, they're walking out and they're meeting this mom immediately, and that is purely based on that feeling of isolation we felt 21 years ago, right? And what I would have done to be able to walk into that environment and connect with another mom who was like, you got this. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to address this. I'm going to tell you the who, what, and where, and you got this. That would have been huge. So that's really the role that AutismUp continues to play.
Yeah.
At all stages of life,
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And again, I would even take it a step further and say, just because you have slugged it out alone for maybe the first 10 years.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you have to stay in that lone wolf mentality.
No,
right?
not at all.
If you are listening to this podcast and you are hearing that AutismUp exists in your region, I would encourage you, again, Sarah's information will be in the show notes and you can connect with her there. But
absolutely,
man, and again, just speaking from a friend to friend level, you are who you are. And that could be on a podcast episode, that could be leading a program or leading your staff. I think that it's very rare to find people that are consistent, in all of those spaces. And the reason I know that and can say that with such confidence is because your kids are intimately involved in the gala every single year.
Yeah.
And there's people and family and just the way in which you guys operate is again, there's a consistency that's just really, it's really rare, unfortunately, in today's world. And I appreciate that about you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Of course.
It's all about community and experiencing it together, right? You can't do it alone.
Yeah.
And if you're doing it alone, then your child with autism is going to be alone.
Yeah.
And that doesn't work.
Yeah. And we've, before we get into the rapid fire hot seat questions, we have a client, Triple O, one of our favorite people ever, Luke, the owner. His son got diagnosed with autism, and Luke is kind of that typical, like, burly dude, lifts weights, like, ain't nothing can stop me, whatever.
Right, yep.
And yet this diagnosis, like, I watched this like big macho man, it's like the diagnosis has no respect for person. Like it doesn't matter what your circumstances.
Knows no boundaries.
Yeah. And yet, I think that one of the best quotes he ever gave was, even from like one swipe of your website or social media, he felt like he received a warm hug. Yeah. That was the way that he described it.
Yeah, that was one of the first things he ever said to me. He's like, I found you guys. I was going through your website and I was like, oh my God, these are our people. I'm like, yes, we are. You're not alone.
Amazing. And like, to your point about being able to connect with other business owners and people, because you stepped out and you saw this wide open field and you said, here is where I'm going to leave my mark. Because you did that, you then gave this business owner an opportunity to say, I want to hitch my wagon to that. Yeah. I want to help elevate this and move this forward. And so, again, if there's a business that's listening, how can they get involved with you guys, with AutismUp, with some of the programs that you have?
There's so many. I mean, like I was mentioning before with the ice cream truck, workforce development is a huge piece of what we're really focusing on now. I think so much. We made great progress nationally on how we recognize autism, how we recognize neurodiversity. We've come a really, really long
For
way,
sure.
right? It's amazing. And what we're trying to do now is partner with businesses to provide just an experience. Let an individual with autism come in and internship, right? Have them get their feet wet. Have them check out what your business does. One of our most popular classes is called Rock Behind the Scenes. And Full Life Academy, Rock Behind the Scenes, they go out in the community and they're just exploring businesses. And they're taking students and they're saying, hey, look what goes on here. Look what goes on behind the scenes here. Is this something you're interested in? Ask questions, get to know the owners. And it's working tremendously. I mean, we have students who are saying to us, well, maybe I want to do this in my career.
Wow.
Whereas before, when they were younger, we were really pigeonholing what individuals with autism and any disability could do, right? Here's your 3 choices. Well, no, there's no ceiling
amazing.
here, So businesses, we have so many business partners already in the community, and I just invite businesses. You want a really good employee, you want a great intern, you want to give a great experience to a young adult with autism. Please reach out, because we also have an Access VR contract with New York State. That's that gets complicated, but what that does is it provides businesses the opportunity to hire individuals with autism at no cost to them.
Yeah.
So it's amazing that these opportunities are existing, and we couldn't do it without the partnership of our businesses here.
It's
locally.
beautiful. It's beautiful. And again, it just creates on-ramps for everybody to make a difference, and it helps all facets of that.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you for being on. It's so much fun.
Thanks for
Before we
having
finish,
me.
this is the most difficult, strenuous part, is the rapid fire hot
Okay,
seat
I'm ready.
questions.
Does that mean I have to answer quickly? Because clearly I'm not good at that.
No, me either. Yeah. So these are rapid fire 1 to 2
Yep.
word responses. Get rocking.
Yep.
So in your morning, what is your go-to cup of something? Coffee, tea, energy drink. What's your go-to?
Absolutely coffee. Yep.
Black.
With cream. And don't talk to me till I'm 2 cups in.
Excellent.
Quiet.
You and my wife have that same rule. Got it.
Yep.
Being from the area, are you more of a Bills or a Sabres fan?
100% Bills.
Let's go.
Yeah, love them. So excited about
Me
this
too.
year.
It just
It's gonna
feels
be
great
our
to
year.
have Josh.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yep.
Are your kiddos as well pretty big Bills fans?
Huge Bills fan. Teddy met Dawson Knox at training camp.
Whoa.
And I see, here I go again.
That's
I
okay.
can't keep to it, but this is a great story.
Yes, I want it.
So one of our other community partners, Connors and Ferris, set up an opportunity for many of our participants to go to training camp this year at St. John Fisher, your alma mater, right?
Yes.
And my son Ted, who is non-speaking, non-verbal, he spells to communicate. He uses a spelling board, and he knows every single Bill player. He's got all their numbers down, what position they play, right? He'll spell it all out. He's spelling on his board to his friend Jess, and Dawson Knox's wife saw from a distance and came over and said to Ted, "Oh my gosh, my brother has autism and spells," right?
Whoa.
She pulled Dawson over, got to meet Teddy, got to meet a group of our AutismUp Full Life Academy participants, and that was life-changing for our kids. And now it's Ted's favorite player. We're all Josh Allen fans, but that Dawson Knox, right? And we had the opportunity to tell him all about AutismUp and the Golisano Autism Center, and we're still holding out because he said he's going to come visit. So there's my
Dawson Knox.
Come see us.
Let's do it. We can make that happen.
Yeah.
100%.
Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be incredible.
So
wow.
again, I'm not good with short answers. Sorry.
No, I love that story. I'm a huge
Isn't that
Bills fan
cool?
myself.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. What would you say is a book or resource that you'd recommend to parents that are just starting on their autism journey, or a podcast, or something?
Yeah. Join our AutismUp Facebook parent page.
Yeah.
It's huge. We've got thousands of members on there. We actually have members who aren't even local. It's a private Facebook page just for parents. And the questions, the stories, the support is amazing.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
And this doesn't have to mean this is your leadership style, but I love this question.
Okay.
If you could have dinner with any leader, past or present, who would it be?
Mm-hmm. For me, it would be Eunice Kennedy Shriver.
Okay.
She started Special Olympics in the early 60s. when they were still taking individuals with disabilities and putting them in a different place. And she was innovative and progressive. And you look at what that started with Special Olympics worldwide. You know, as we say at AutismUp, we're going worldwide. So she's always has always been a guiding star. There was a mom, because of her growing up with a sister with a disability, who gave the same opportunities to everybody, regardless of a label or a diagnosis.
Wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Last question, my absolute favorite one.
Okay.
What are you most proud of?
What am I? Gosh, one word.
This one doesn't have to be one word.
I'm most proud of, first and foremost, my kids. Right, the way my family has been able to embrace autism, and what Ted's siblings have done to embrace and support him makes me proud every single day. And a really close second to that is AutismUp, and the fact that we're running over 80 plus programs a week. We have, a membership of 4,000. Nothing makes me prouder on a Wednesday night when I walk down the halls at the Golisano Autism Center, and that place is packed, and I see parents, and I'm high-fiving kids, and I know everybody standing there is getting what they need.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah, Milko, thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you, Mike, for having me. I'm so glad I met you guys.
I know.
Right? It's
the
like
gift
when you
that
meet
keeps
your
on
people,
giving.
I'm like, oh my God, where have you been? Right?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So thanks for the opportunity.
And thank you so much for tuning in. And again, if you want to connect with Sarah, I know that her information down below, she's got an incredible team. If you're local in the area, I cannot encourage you enough, even to just show up, knock on the door, set up a meeting, an appointment with them. I know they'll be happy to give you a tour. And like I said, introduce you to every single person that is running the programs. But thanks for tuning in to another episode of In Good Company, where we really do believe that the best parts in business happen in good company. Take care.
Thanks for listening to In Good Company. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. For more information or to connect with Mike, visit him online at thomasmediagroup.co or on Instagram at Michael L. Thomas. Thanks again for listening, and remember, the best of business happens in good company. We'll see you next time.